Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. I hope you are all doing very well today. This is your weekly tarot forecast for the week of August 8th through August 14th. And we're going to see what the message is for you for this coming week. What is it that you need to know? What is going on with this situation that you're involved in? What's going on with this person that's been on your mind, or this event or circumstance that you find yourself in? And what messages can we get about that? What insights can we offer you? So we're going to get right into it today for Libra. What does Libra need to know? What's going on with Libra for this coming week? Okay, we start off with the Hermit card. This should be quite interesting. Okay, I see that you are maybe withdrawing into yourself a little bit this week. I think the circumstances of life right now are maybe offering you the chance to take a little bit of a break this week. Okay, to start off with, we have the Hermit card. So I think the situation here is one of you just kind of getting a little bit fed up with the circumstances, getting a little bit overwhelmed by things that are going on right now. And I don't know that these are really, I don't know that it's really anything specific. I think maybe you just need a little bit of a break. So I think you're starting to develop this kind of desire, this kind of urge, this impulse to just kind of turn away from everything, just to withdraw into yourself, to just kind of retire, just seclude yourself a little bit from the situation at hand. And I think what might be going on is, one, maybe your life right now is a little bit overwhelming in terms of emotions. We have the Seven of Cups here as kind of an overarching influence, okay? And the Seven of Cups, I think, in this situation is really talking about how your emotions have been not so much overwhelmed, but just kind of overused, overworked, and you're not really getting the pleasure and satisfaction out of life that you once were. Okay, so with the Seven of Cups, I think you've been living a certain lifestyle, you've been doing things a certain way, and now life just has lost a little bit of its luster, I think. Okay, so I'm getting this feeling like you really, you had maybe a very active lifestyle, a very kind of just indulgent and carefree, a very outgoing lifestyle. And I think now it's lost a little bit of its shine, it's losing a little bit of its appeal. And this week, I think you're really going to be turning away from things, or at least slowing down a little bit and taking some time for some meditation and self-reflection. Okay, I think maybe the situation in the past few weeks has been just a little bit much. It's been a little bit taxing on your emotions, and I think it's just been a little bit crazy, and it's time to slow down. It's time to turn inwards for that guidance. It's time to kind of stop listening to what everybody is telling you that you should do, and really try to formulate your own plan and see what it is really deep inside of you, what your intuition says, like, right, what your deepest self is trying to tell you. And I think with a lot of chaos going on in the outside world, I think it's easy to miss these messages coming from our inner self, right? So I think this slowing down, this retirement a little bit, this a little bit of a break where you can just isolate just a little bit in order to reestablish the connection with that inner voice. Okay, and I think that's really coming with some clarity of thought. I think you're going to get recentered. I think you're going to have fresh ideas. You're going to really have a nice relationship with yourself, some good communication going on with your inner self, with your deepest spiritual self. And that's what we see with the Hermit card here. I think we definitely see we see you looking for your own light, right, rather than seeking it outside. I think it's really time for you to just meditate on things. Just do some contemplation and see where you stand, see where you want to go in life, and see if the situation that you're in right now is really working for you. So whatever is the kind of the outer situation that you're in, and it might not just be like, a fast lifestyle or a wild kind of life. This could be anything really that is weighing on you heavily emotionally. Anything that was once feeling very good now doesn't feel so good anymore. Okay, so this could be your relationship, it could be your employment, it could be your lifestyle, it could be the things that you used to enjoy, your hobbies, your friends, anything like that. Whatever was once pleasurable is losing its luster and it's becoming less pleasurable. And so that is the perfect time for you to retire, withdraw, isolate just a little bit in order to reflect. Okay, it's a good time for self-reflection. I see that you have a foundation of love and abundance. So I don't think that, there's anything really lacking in your life that you're in desperate need of. I think really it's just about refocusing your attention on what is truly meaningful to you. I think maybe you've kind of lost sight of the things that truly give you pleasure and truly are valuable and meaningful to you. And you've just kind of gotten lost in this other life, this other world where you thought things were good, you thought you enjoyed these things, but now you're starting to realize that maybe they aren't really as pleasurable or as exciting or as meaningful as you thought they were. But I see that you have a strong capacity, a very large capacity for love, for generosity, for connecting with other people. With the Three of Cups here, we really see just an overflowing of this love energy, right? So I think you've got a lot of this really strong urge to connect with people, this very generous and loving spirit. And it's really now, I think, just about you kind of reassessing where you're going to be expending that energy, in which areas of your life, on which people, which circumstances, which projects, hobbies, interests, desires, where you're really going to let that energy flow, because you've got a lot of this love energy. I think you've been a very practical person. We have the Queen of Discs here. I think you've really been a hard worker. You've been self-sufficient. You've just kind of taken care of yourself. You've always managed to be responsible with your life. You pay your bills on time, that kind of thing. So I think that's not really the issue, but maybe in terms of your employment or your career or where you're expending your physical energy or how you're earning your money, maybe that has lost a little bit of its luster. Maybe that isn't really fulfilling you or satisfying you the way it once did. So with the Queen of Discs here, this could be you slowing down again and reassessing and just kind of just gazing out on what you have, what you've achieved and accomplished, and deciding where to go from here, deciding what is of value, what areas of your life deserve your energy, what areas of your life, which people, projects, things, entities no longer deserve all of your love and abundant energy, okay? So really that's what the Hermit is doing here, is kind of retiring from life, calling a timeout, going off into the woods alone to meditate and figure out, where do we go from here? What do we do? What do we want? How do we get there? What is my inner light saying? And what does my inner light show me? Okay, what kind of insights can I get by just being with myself for a while? And obviously this isn't literally going out into the woods and meditating, although I recommend it. It is great. But this is just kind of, putting a little bit of a halt, hitting the brakes a little bit on your busy life, and just settle for a few minutes even, but a day or two, a week or two, and just reflect and allow yourself time to get to know yourself again and find out what your plans are for the future, where you want to go. Recenter yourself, okay? I think that's what the message really is here. And I think in the immediate future, you're going to have these fresh ideas that we see with the Queen of Swords. And so we have two queens here, right? And these are both passive elements. We have the earth. Oh, I'm sorry, they're not both passive elements. These are opposing elements. We have the passive earth. We have the active swords. These two don't get along, okay? The discs and the swords are not friends, and they tend to fight against each other. And so it's really now coming down to this decision that you have to make. It's almost like you're at a crossroads, you're at this fork in the roads, and you have, a couple different paths in front of you that you are probably going to have to choose between. We don't see much other indication here about there being a grand ultimatum for you in life, but I do think with this Hermit card and the Six of Swords, it's going to be about recentering, refocusing on your goals, and deciding which of these paths you're going to go down. Is it going to be just kind of sticking to what you've known, sticking to what's been working for you. And even though there is kind of this sour taste to it all right now, that's just kind of, I mean, this card is right above these other two, where it's just, things are just not that interesting. Things are just not that exciting anymore. Things aren't as satisfying as they once were. But do you stick with it because it's working, because you've been relatively successful and you've had a lot of achievements doing what you've been doing? Or is your soul, is your inner hermit telling you to go this different route and try new ideas and really kind of venture out into the unknown and just try different things? Try things that may not work so well, that you may fail at. But nevertheless, it's a fresh attitude. It's a new path. It's a new kind of air about it. It's a new breeze kind of coming in and clearing out this old kind of stagnant. I mean, the Queen of Discs is just kind of stuck in their ways, right? They're just they're not really innovating. They're not really making a lot of changes. They're just kind of doing the same old because it's working. So maybe with the Queen of Swords here, this is a fresh breeze that's blowing in, and it's going to take you in some new directions, okay? But I see that you have the love, the abundance, the energy, the desire, and the really good attitude to make this work. Whichever path you choose, I think it's going to work out for you ultimately. Now, to deal with some of these other cards, we have, first of all, the Nine of Wands, and I think this is maybe your current focus on health. I think maybe with all of this Queen of Discs energy in the recent past, maybe a lot of that was focused on getting yourself healthy again. I don't know if you, if you were recently with some kind of a health issue, or if lately you've been just focusing on health and exercise, fitness, your diet, that sort of thing. But I see that there's a return to vitality, a return to health that's going on with you right now. And so I wonder if part of this whole situation is that now you are in a healthier place in life, and so you're starting to reassess, well, was my old lifestyle, was the old way of doing things, my old attitudes, my old pleasures, the thing that used to give me satisfaction and pleasure in the past, now that I have this kind of new health, new vitality, this restoration of my energy and of my spirit, and this return to a healthy state, maybe these things aren't interesting to you anymore. Maybe they're not doing it. Maybe that's not what you desire for yourself anymore. But that's what you're going to learn with this period of isolation and this hermit energy that we see. Okay, so I think that there was, or is right now, this return to health, or this focus on health going on with you right now. And I hope you leave me some comments down below. And while you're there, please like and subscribe to this channel. It really does help us out. To move on now, we have the 10 of Swords, and this is an interesting card to get in the position of the other people or the environment or the energies around us. And this is one of just complete ruin. This is just complete destruction of the way that we think or the way we communicate. And I think in this situation, this might be kind of a rebellion from the people around you. If you are making this kind of move away from this old way of doing things, and you're trying to reassess yourself, your life, your energy, your desires and passions, your needs, if you're kind of reassessing all of that, and you're kind of moving away from what we talked about here with these cards, you might be receiving some opposition from the people around you. They don't want you to change, and I can attest to this too. When we're very ingrained in a certain lifestyle, or with a certain group of people, or with just a certain way of living, anytime that we try to move away from that, it seems like there are these outside forces that are trying to keep us in that groove of where we were, right? Keep us in that routine, keep us in that lane. As much as we try to break out of that mode of thinking or feeling or behavior, or that old philosophy, there just seems to be these forces that are trying to keep us on that same path. And I think that's what this is. This is the resistance from the world around you that doesn't want you to change. Okay, so this is what you're up against. And this, I think, is going to be a challenge. This is really, by you changing, by you going against the grain, it seems like the whole universe around you is going to be then offended by that, or they're going to be questioning their own motives, their own path in life, because they see you pivoting and they wonder if they should be too. Okay, so watch out for this, because I think that a lot of the times this kind of resistance may be enough to push you back into the old way, push you back into what's known, what's familiar. But don't let it. If you make the decision to pivot, to shift things, to redirect your energy based on what you receive from your inner self, from your spiritual guides, from your inner light, if you decide to make this change, make this pivot, stick to it. Don't let these forces redirect you, or to oppose you, or to get you to second guess or doubt yourself. Okay. And I think another factor for you is the stability of your emotional life, because here we see the stability and familiarity of your physical life, your financial life, your domestic life, that sort of thing. But here we see a more stable emotional life. And I think part of your worry is that if you do make these changes in your life, you're not going to be any happier because of it. And I think with the Four of Cups here, it's saying that you really are scared of losing that stability, that you're just kind of, part of your fear and worry is losing the safety and stability, losing this nice kind of even keel that you have, this steadiness that you have emotionally, and things are going to be upset, and you might be kind of returning to the stormy waters here. So I think that's a large influence on the situation is your need for safety and security, which you definitely have here. And going off in this new direction, see, it's not that stable, right? This court card is just kind of floating in the air, and it, I mean, they're just kind of flying on a cloud. That doesn't seem too stable, right? That could go at any minute. And so I think that's a large factor for you, is you don't want to lose this steady base that you have emotionally. So I think that is something to consider as well. Now, as the more long-term outcome, we do see the Eight of Cups. And this is a little bit of a confusing end to things, because this is saying that, well, if you make these changes and you turn away from really what has lost its luster and what doesn't seem so pleasurable anymore, and you turn away from the old familiar routine, and you're trying something new, and you're trying to refocus all this energy that you have, well, with the Eight of Cups, what if you don't like it? What if you do all this and it's worse, you know? And I think that's kind of this card is not the final outcome. This is just a potential for the future, considering all of this other energy that's flowing into this kind of, it's the last card in the reading, or the last card in the spread, but it's not the final outcome. This is just kind of a long-term projection that's saying you might not be satisfied with the decisions that you make, but that's okay. I think the important thing here is listening to your inner voice and going off the guidance from your own soul, your own spiritual light, to make these decisions. And yeah, you might down the road just say, man, this was a bad idea. But that's okay, because you tried something new. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay. You can try something else again. This card also might be revealing to you that while your new life, or this new path that you go down, might not have the same indulgences or pleasures or the same satisfactions that you've been getting over here, but that's okay too, because you know what? Those old satisfactions and pleasures and desires and indulgences weren't working anyway. They lost their luster, right? That's what we've been seeing. So if they're different in the future, well, that's good. They might not feel the same. They might not look the same. They might not do the same thing for you, but that's okay, because maybe they're going to have a different meaning. Maybe they're going to be satisfying and fulfilling in a different way. So this might be indicating that the things that you enjoy are going to change. The way you enjoy life and experience pleasure and joy and happiness and satisfaction may be a lot different than what you're used to. But that's okay, because you're opening up to these new ideas, these new ways of thinking and feeling, that I think, even if you do end up kind of going back to your old ways, I think it's good to venture out and try new things and do some experimentation and see what works for you. And again, that's all based on the Hermit and the Six of Swords, saying that you've got to take some time to reassess your life and see where it is that you want to take all of this energy, all of this love and abundance, all of this restored health that you have, and really see what it is that you want to do with your life. Okay, Libra. So I think the message is fairly clear here. I hope that it was. I hope this resonated with you. Please let me know in the comments what you think of this video and kind of what's going on with you. And this was your weekly tarot forecast for the week of August 8th through August 14th. Now, there is going to be an extended version of this. If you want to check that out, all of the information is down in the description box of this video and every video. So Libra, thank you so much for letting me read for you today.